Hi guys, today's video is about the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Al-Aqsa Mosque, located in the heart of the old city of Jerusalem, holds immense significance in Islam. It is the third holiest site in the religion, after Mecca and Medina. Believed to be the place from which the Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven during the night journey, it has been a focal point of religious and political importance for over a millennium. With its stunning architectural beauty and historical richness, Al-Aqsa stands as a testament to the enduring faith and cultural heritage of the Muslim world. It remains a place of worship, reflection, and pilgrimage for millions of Muslims around the globe. This location is widely regarded as one of the most sacred places globally, situated in a city of immense religious significance. However, the footage captured on a mobile phone within the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem portrays a distressing scene. Palestinian worshippers find themselves trapped and subjected to tear gas by Israeli forces. The police proceed to shatter the stained glass windows of the prayer hall and point their firearms through the resulting openings. Subsequently, they forcefully enter the hall and proceed to apprehend numerous individuals. This distressing occurrence has become a recurring event. Israeli law enforcement frequently conducts raids on the compound, sealing off the mosque's entrances and employing tear gas, rubber bullets, physical assaults, and arrests. Within the ancient courtyard, individuals retaliate by utilizing stones and fireworks. This city is currently under occupation, with Israelis holding ultimate authority, often successfully expelling Palestinians from the compound to accommodate Jewish Israelis. At first glance, this situation may appear to be a mere religious conflict. However, there's a far more complex narrative at play. It revolves around the pursuit of control, not solely over the sacred sites, but also over the land and its inhabitants. Therefore, we will delve into the identities of the parties involved, their objectives, and how a tragic incident in 1994, where Israeli-American settlers massacred Palestinians at another holy site, may provide insight into the current trajectory of Jerusalem. Jerusalem, a city of great religious significance, holds a central place for three major religions: Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. However, since the occupation of East Jerusalem by Israel in 1967, efforts have been made to establish a Jewish majority in the city. This has resulted in a complex situation for Palestinians who have endured decades of occupation and inequality. Al-Aqsa, considered the third holiest site in Islam, holds deep symbolic value for Palestinians as it represents their national identity. On the other hand, Jews refer to this site as the Temple Mount, believing it to be the location of two ancient Jewish temples. The Second Temple, destroyed by the Romans around 2,000 years ago, was the holiest place of worship for Jews. Despite the Israeli occupation of the site, a policy has been maintained that only Muslims are allowed to pray there, while Jews are prohibited. However, there are groups within the Temple Mount movement who are advocating for a change in this policy. Their ultimate objective is to demolish the mosque, a symbol of Palestinian nationhood, and a sacred site for Muslims worldwide, in order to construct a third Jewish temple. These individuals, supported financially by the Israeli government and charitable organizations in the US, Canada, and the UK, have been actively preparing for the rebuilding of the Holy Temple and the restoration of divine service. They have even created detailed architectural plans for the temple. In recent years, they have incentivized Jews to enter the Al-Aqsa compound or perform animal sacrifices there, as was done in the original temple, by offering cash rewards. Despite being initially disregarded by most Israelis and facing government restrictions, these activists are now gaining momentum in their pursuit of their goals. In the past, the Temple Mount movement was considered fringe and associated with zealots, lunatics, and peculiar individuals. However, today it has become mainstream, with prominent figures like Yehuda Glick serving in the Israeli parliament, the Knesset, and 20 Knesset members ascending Temple Mount. The movement has also gained support from government ministers and leaders, with talks of imposing Jewish prayers at Al-Aqsa. As a result, the number of Israeli Jews entering the Al-Aqsa compound has grown to tens of thousands a year. However, this shift towards the mainstream has raised concerns about the restriction of Palestinian access to the site, similar to what has happened at another holy site in Hebron. Abraham holds significant importance for both the Jewish and Muslim communities, resulting in different names for the site. Jews refer to it as the Cave of the Patriarchs, while Muslims call it the Ibrahimi Mosque. Following the occupation in 1967, Hebron became the initial settlement for Israelis, which was in violation of international law. Despite the shared prayers at the site by Jews and Muslims, the situation remained tense. Tragically, on February 25, 1994, a disturbing incident occurred. A settler named Baruch Goldstein, an American-born Israeli reservist armed with an automatic rifle, entered the Ibrahimi Mosque during the morning prayer. He waited for the worshippers to kneel down and then opened fire, resulting in the death of 29 people and the injury of over 120 individuals. The scene was described as horrifying, with bodies and blood scattered throughout. The massacre came to an end when survivors managed to subdue Goldstein, beating him to death with a fire extinguisher. The injured were rushed to overwhelmed hospitals, and news of the killing sparked protests across Hebron. In the subsequent days, Israeli soldiers opened fire, leading to the deaths of more than 20 additional Palestinians. This tragic event sheds light on the complex and volatile situation in Hebron, where tensions between the Jewish settlers and Palestinian Muslims persist. After the tragic incident, the settlement's chief rabbi provided a description of Goldstein that portrayed him in a positive light. Goldstein's grave has become a place of pilgrimage for his supporters, with his tombstone bearing a message that emphasizes his sacrifice for the people of Israel, their religious teachings, and the land they inhabit. Unfortunately, the aftermath of the massacre resulted in significant changes in Hebron. But these changes came at the expense of the Palestinian victims. The Israeli army, under the pretext of ensuring the safety of the settlers residing in the Old City and preventing further violence, imposed a 2-week curfew on all Palestinians in Hebron. Additionally, access to the area surrounding the Ibrahimi Mosque was permanently restricted to settlers and foreign tourists, effectively transforming what was once a vibrant marketplace and center of Palestinian life into a desolate and inaccessible space. The old city of Hebron is now isolated from the rest of the city by numerous Israeli checkpoints, making it extremely challenging for most Palestinians to reach the mosque or even visit the area. Furthermore, the Israeli authorities forcibly divided the Ibrahimi Mosque, allocating 40% for Muslims and 60% for Jews, but maintaining full military control over the entire site. These actions ultimately favored the settlers, resulting in a significant shift in the dynamics of power in Hebron. This historical context is crucial in understanding the current concerns of Palestinians, who fear that the events that unfolded in Hebron in 1994 could potentially be repeated in Jerusalem. It is not solely the possibility of another massacre that worries them, but rather the increasing influence of individuals who share the same extremist beliefs as Baruch Goldstein within the Israeli political landscape. The banned political party that Goldstein was associated with has rebranded, and some of its former members have joined new parties and now hold positions in the Israeli Knesset. These individuals are actively involved in drafting and passing laws, and they are part of the ruling coalition government. One such party, Otzma Yehudit, explicitly advocates for the expulsion of Palestinians and seeks to impose Israeli sovereignty over the Temple Mount. The party's leader even proudly displayed a photograph of Baruch Goldstein in his own living room. This connection between the events in Hebron and the current political climate underscores the ongoing concerns and fears of Palestinians regarding their rights and safety in Jerusalem and beyond. The call to cut off Palestinians from Jerusalem and Al-Aqsa, along with the threat to their presence on the land, poses significant challenges for Palestinians. Many governments, including the United States, which is Israel's main supporter, have long emphasized the need for a peace agreement that addresses the division or sharing of Jerusalem. However, the Israeli government's actions have been moving in the opposite direction, with the U.S. failing to push back. In fact, the U.S. has taken steps that Israel perceives as strengthening its claims over the entire city, such as relocating the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem. If this trend continues unchecked, the repercussions could extend well beyond the Holy Land. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey. If you enjoyed the video, please show your support by hitting the like button and subscribing to our channel. Your support means the world to us, and it helps us continue creating content like this. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, thank you again, and happy exploring.